Hey, hi everyone. In this video, we will talk mainly about tools. So basically, how you can empower your agents to provide additional tools. If you remember in the very beginning, I said agents are nothing but LLM plus tools, right? So that means LLM are the reasoning. So that means they can think, they can reason, and they can plan. But in order to act, we need to provide some tools. Okay, so that's all about tools. So there's three steps again, very simple. Write any Python function, okay, and you simply decorate it with something called @function tools. I will talk about that. And then once you create the tools, you just pass the tools while creating an agent. Three steps process, that's all. Okay, so let's see what we do. Okay, so provide tools to the agent. So three step, write any simple Python function. So let's do one thing. I'm creating a very simple Python function, calculate n content. So that means if you pass any DNA string, basically you are calculating how many n bases are there. Okay, but this is a very common problem, right? So an LLM agent can do it very easily. So that's why I have made a trick that it will calculate n, and whatever count is there, I'm just adding 10. So that means if there is 3n is there, the output what we get should be 30. 10 plus total n count. So this is my function which I am telling the agent to use it. Okay, so that's what you have to define. This is a very Python function, right? You see there is nothing fancy in it, but main important thing is this part. It's called the doc string. This is where you are defining what this tool does actually. So this is where agent will know that, oh, okay, you have provided me a tool called calculate n content, exactly what it does. So now this is the text, right? By learning this, by knowing this text, agent will know when to call this tool. But so agent will know that I have a tool, something called calculate n content, and which I have said that use this tool to calculate total n bases in a DNA sequence. This is a custom tool which adds 10 to the n count. So that's what I have told about this calculate n content function, and the logic what I have written it here. So what we need to do is like this is the regular Python function. You again from this agents library you import something called function underscore tool, and simply you write @function tool. This much abstraction is needed. So in Python this is called decorator. That means you simply decorate this one with this one, and this function will now become something called coroutine. That's a little advanced concept, but something you can think that now this Python function is converted to a tools. Okay, so now once we have this tool is ready, right? So let's run this. Okay, but before that let me if I comment this, okay, so now this is a regular Python function. Okay, because I have not yet decorated it, so let's do the check calculate n content. Let's test this atgc n atgc. Okay, so let's see how does we'll get. So we got 13, right? Because we had 3n and now n count plus 10, so we got 13. This is my Python function what I'm doing. But now once I decorate this, right, that's very important difference. So now once I decorate this Python function is now not a regular Python function. That means I cannot call it like this. So now this will give me an error here, because now this has now converted into a coroutine in Python, and I cannot directly call it. Okay, there are different ways I can call this, but now this will give me an error. Right is slow. I'll just pause for a minute. Okay, so I paused that, and now when I'm back, it gave me an error that function tool object is not callable, because this is a function tool which I have decorated it. So that's the difference. The moment you add this decorator, you cannot call it directly, but you got an idea that this does 10 plus whatever the number is there. So we have now defined a tool which is our this function. Now the next step is we are defining agent. So let's call this agent a name bioinformatics agent, and this is my system prompt. So here I'm giving that you are a helpful assistant for bioinformatics task. You are equipped with this tool. If query involves DNA sequence n content analysis, if it involves, you must use this. You must use. That's the system prompt. See, is very a strict instruction I'm giving that you must use this tool to calculate n content. Otherwise, the model will use the basic n content. Otherwise, chart normally. This is what I have created an agent instruction or the system prompt. That means about what this agent is, and I'm using again the model GPT 4.1 mini. And you see, this is the only thing I added it. So what I did, tools is the parameter where you can pass list of tools. So comma separated. So you can pass this is one tool. You can pass, let's say, tool 2, tool 3, like that if it is available. So you can write a function and convert it into decorate it and pass more than one function. So now you see, now my agent is now 3 step. So I provided the brain, the instruction or the system prompt. Now what is the capability? So now my model LLM agent is now capable with using this tool. Okay, so now again let's have a chat session. Okay, so I'm creating an session. Last time we had used it. So basically I'm using this bioinfo session and defining a chat function, and I'm using this session object here so that it will remember, and the simple Gradio app. Okay, so now just copy this one as a query. Okay, so it opened it. So now this is my question. Okay, so you got 13, right? So now you can further ask, how about and content, like let's say NN. Okay, I increase, so it will now calculate that, hopefully. So sometimes it may take some time, but yeah, it now responded. See, it is now calculated how many NNN and 15 bases. So let's just go to traces to see what happened here. Now you see the interesting thing. That's what I wanted to show you. The agent workflow is same, but the agent name is bioinformatics agent. And here you see now there is a one tool call, right? So let's see what happens here. So first, if you look at the traces, first we step by step, the query was sent to the let me close this one, close this. Okay, this is the one. So first, like I asked this question and content of this one, right? Sorry, I was showing this trace, right? So this all three goes. So we have asked some question. This is the system prompt. The question is user ask n content of this one. So now what this LLM did, it generated a text. That's very important. It generated a text, something which is simply like calling that calculate n function, and it passed this parameter over here. Okay, and it got the output, and then it combined the output and it said this one. Now I asked how about n content. So then it calculated the second one output. Okay. Sorry, this is the latest traces I am seeing, right? So this one, and the function call, the output, and all it is going as an input over here. Okay, I think you got confused. So let's call this one. Okay, the first agent. That means when I asked this question, n content of DNA, this was the only input it went. So first, this was the query. So system prompt, I asked n content this one. So what the output it got? So now you see, I asked an LLM now thought, okay, user has asked me n content of this one. So I have a tool called calculate n content. So let's call it. So basically how it can call? By simply generating a text. So it now generated this text calculate n content. So now this this is a function that ran in my local system. So that's why it is not an API call. See, there is no API endpoint here. This ran in my system. In my system now generated, my laptop generated 13. Now the next response, this output what I generated in my system now goes to as an input to the second API call. Again the agent will call. So now you see the input got changed. Query this one, and this is the call, and the output is 13. All these three goes as an input to the LLM second time. That's why 2 time is happening here. Before tool calling and after tool calling it happened. So now using all these input, the assistant is now generating back the answer to us. So that is how it happens. Like before tool calling, something happens. So now that's the reasoning. This is where the reasoning happened. The LLM thought, okay, I have to. Now it called the tool. Action it happened. Okay, reasoning, planning, then acting is here, and once you got the output, it is now formatting the answer and it is responding back. So that's how 2 times we are calling the API. Okay, so it's very simple, right? So you created just simple Python function and you decorate it with any function tool and it will work like a charm. Okay, so that's all I had for this one. Okay, so now next session what we will do an actual one more very interesting use case for this tools uses. So let's say if you know there is this database called DB and SAP database. So we'll and they have the releases, right? So we'll create an agent which will go to this URL and it will fetch this release notes and it will give us some summary. We'll create that use case. There I will demonstrate the tools. Okay, and then we will move to the next concept, that is the something called how. So far we have been using OpenAI model, right? We are paying for the model, and then how to use local Olama model, that I will show. But before that, let's do one more use case using like how to create an agent which will go to this DBNSP database and it will download this web page and it will parse all this the release notes and it will fetch us the summary. That we will do. Okay, I hope this video was useful to you, and if yes, like and subscribe. That's all. Okay, thank you. I'll see you in the next video.